Hey guys, welcome to your short flow. I'm Jenny Kontos, and in this flow we're going to be opening up our hamstrings, our hips, and some lateral side body work. So since we're short on time, let's go ahead and get started in downward facing dog. So set up your downward dog, come into a tabletop for just a moment, and walk your hands about a handprint out in front of you. Index fingers point forward, thumbs point in, and turn the eyes of your elbows forward towards your index fingers. From here, tuck your toes, pick your knees up off the earth, and lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. And as you arrive in this posture, you can create movement if that's what you'd like to create. But also listen, if stillness is something that you need, then make sure you take stillness. In the hands, as opposed to thinking rooting down through your hands, think about pressing the hands into the earth, almost like you're shutting the earth away, so that your hips can lift a little higher up towards the sky. Lift your heels a lot, bend your knees a lot, and press your ribs back towards your thighs. Take another deep breath in, relaxing the neck, relaxing the shoulders back and away from the ears. And straighten your right leg, taking that heel down to the ground, and then bend that right knee. And then straighten your left leg, taking your heel to or towards the ground, and bend your left knee. Begin to straighten both legs, press your thigh bones back, and exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and walk your hands forward to walk your feet forward to the front of the mat, coming into a standing forward bend. Separate your feet hip and width apart, grab opposite elbows, sway from side to side for ragdoll. Allowing your head to be heavy, your neck to be long, your navel pulling in and up. And release your hands down to the earth. Keep a bend in your knees and slowly roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Press your feet down. Feel your bones stack. Take your shoulders back. Inhale, take your arms up to the sky, gaze to the thumbs, keep your low back long. Exhale your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes, bow your forehead to your fingertips. And take this opportunity to welcome your intention into your practice, whether that be a word, a phrase, or a dedication to someone or something. I try to never neglect this part of the practice. Even in the moments that I don't have an intention, just taking a moment of silence, of stillness. That moment where I'm able to bow in to the opportunity of practice. And take a deep breath into your nose. Open up your mouth and exhale. Leave the eyes open. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips, and lead with your heart. Inhale to a flat back, Ardha Uttanasana, broaden the collarbones. Exhale, fold in, relax the neck. And again, inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. And exhale, round the upper back, pull the navel in. And then again, one more halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, step left leg all the way back. Step right leg all the way back to plank pose. If you need to drop your knees in your plank, make sure you drop your knees. And just like we did in that downward dog, as opposed to just rooting into your hands, press down with your hands like you're shoving the floor away and lift the space between your shoulder blades. And take another full breath in, drawing the navel to your spine, lifting the pubic bone to the navel. And exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Draw the elbows in, modify if you need. Inhale to cobra, tops of feet down, lift your chest. And exhale, lower your heart down and forward. Inhale to cobra, look over your right shoulder, squeeze your inner thighs. Exhale, lower back down through center.
Inhale, cobra, look over your left shoulder, stretching out the right side of your neck. And exhale, lower all the way back down. Inhale, press up and back to a child's pose, knees open up wider than your hips. Take a cleansing breath on your exhale. Inhale, come forward into a tabletop pose, wrists, elbows, shoulders in line, and knees underneath your hips. Exhale to cat pose, round your back, look towards the navel. Inhale to cow pose, lift your chest, broaden the collarbones. And exhale back to cat, rounding through the spine. Inhale, cow pose. Keep the belly tone, lift the sternum. Exhale, cat pose, rounding in. Inhaling back to cow pose, lifting your hips, lifting the chest. And exhale back to a neutral spine. Extend your right leg back on an in-breath. Take your right toes down to the ground. Spin the right heel flat. Lift your right arm up towards the sky for a modified side plank. Stacking your shoulders on top of one another, and then lifting your chin away from your chest so you find that leaning back action. Keeping your breath full, and if you feel any tension in your body, sending softness to those areas. Space between the teeth. Soft through the eyes. And take another big breath in. Can you lengthen through that right rib cage? Exhale, your right knee comes down to meet your left. Thread the needle, take your right shoulder down to the ground. Reach beyond the left side of your mat. Or if you have a dog there, maybe you reach for the dog. Take a deep breath in. If you can't see, my dog is right here, Frank. And deep breath out. And again, big breath in. And big breath out. Take your right arm up towards the sky. Open up your chest. And exhale, take your right hand down underneath that right shoulder. Take the top of your left hand down to the mat so that your palm is facing up towards your chest. And make circles in one direction. Give that left wrist some love. And then switch, go into the other direction. Come back to center, left palm flat on the ground. Inhale, extend your left leg all the way back. Spiral your left inner thigh up to get your hip bone down. And then drop your left toes down to the floor, keeping that left leg straight and strong. Spin the left heel flat. Take your left arm up to the sky. Modified side plank, second side. So in this posture, if you feel any tension in your neck because you're looking up, you can look straight or you can look down at the bottom hand. Think about pressing down through that right hand, pressing it down and forward, pressing the earth away, and lifting your left ribs a little bit more skyward. Deep inhale through your nose, and deep exhale. Take another big breath, lean back, stretch back. Exhale, your left knee lowers to meet the right, thread the needle, take your left shoulder down to the ground. I personally like to keep a 90-degree angle in my right arm so that my elbow is over my wrist and then my elbow is on my shoulder. And I use the action of pressing the right hand down to stack my right shoulder so I feel a little bit of a deeper stretch between my left, or between my shoulder blades, mainly on my left side. And if that doesn't ring true for you, then just disregard and find that stretch that works best for your body. Inhale, take your left arm up towards the sky, open up your chest. And exhale your left hand down underneath your shoulder. Flip the top of your right hand onto the mat, turn your palm up towards your chest, and make those circles in one direction for 3, 2, and switch 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Take those hands down, walk them forward, tuck your toes, downward facing dog, lift your hips up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And take a deep breath out. Inhale, pressing your hands down and forward, and exhale, melting your chest back. Inhale, take your right leg up towards the sky. Bend the right knee, open up your hip without collapsing in the low back. Inhale, re-extend right leg up, point your hip bone down. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round the upper back. Inhale, take your right leg back up to the sky. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, breathing as deep as possible. Inhale, take your right leg back up.
And exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Step right foot forward by your right thumb. Lift your left leg up to the sky for a standing split. And underneath your hands, if you need to take blocks underneath your hands, take blocks underneath your hands. Maybe take your right hand to your hip crease, guide that right hip bone back. And then lift that left heel, take a deep breath. Now listen carefully, step your left foot so that the pinky side edge of your left foot is on the other side of your right. So bring the pinky edges of your feet together. So left foot steps behind your right. From here, walk your hands over towards the left corner of the mat. Again, if you need blocks here, use blocks. Press your hands down and forward, send your hips back. Deep inhale and deep exhale. Deep breath in and exhale, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Lift your left leg up on a big breath in and step your left foot down to meet your right on your exhale. Rise all the way up, big breath in, Urdhva Hastasana. Take your hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Lift your chest, tailbone south. And exhale, fold with your arms down, bending your knees a lot so your ribs and thighs touch. Sit down into a chair, Utkatasana. Reach your arms up towards the sky. On an exhale, fold forward, hands down, hips up. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, step right leg all the way back. Inhale, step left leg all the way back to plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Inhale, Cobra, Bhujangasana, shoulders back and down. Exhale, lower the heart down and forward. Come to the tips of your fingers, so lift the palms, shoulders up, back and down, Cobra Pose number 2. And exhale, lower everything down. Now let's strengthen our upper back. Lift your chest and lift your hands up off the floor, keeping the tops of your feet down and really squeeze those inner thighs. Exhale, lower the chest, lower your hands. Tuck your toes, use your core, use the strength of your upper back, press up, plank pose. Take your hips back, downward facing dog, or really strength of your entire body. Lift left leg up towards the sky, deep inhalation. Bend the left knee, open up your hip. Inhale, re-extend, left leg up, point your hip bone down. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round, round, round. Inhale, take your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, and as you come forward, rock to the tips of your right toes. Inhale, take your left leg back up. And exhale, take your knee to your nose, round, and lightly step your left foot forward. Take your right leg up to the sky for standing split. Maybe look back at those right toes, make sure those toes are pointing directly down to the floor. Maybe take your left hand to your hip crease and guide your left hip bone back. Deep breath. And exhale. One more full inhalation. Use the leg as a team to lift that heel a little higher. And then step your right foot to the outside of your left. Bring the pinky edges of your feet together. Walk your hands over towards the right corner of the mat, maybe beyond. Press your fingertips down and forward. Lift your hips away from your shoulders. And remember that our body communicates to us through the language of sensation. So recognizing what your body is saying and setting any physical boundaries that you might need. Your body is smarter than you. Your body is smarter than me, and it'll tell you exactly what you need. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. On a big inhalation, lift your right leg back up to the sky. Step right foot down to meet your left, standing forward fold. Rise all the way up, deep inhalation, keep the low back long, maybe gaze to the thumbs. Hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Lift your chest, deep breath in. And exhale, fold forward with your arms down, bend your knees a lot. Chair pose, sit your hips low, reach your arms skyward, shift the weight out of the toes. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Half lift, big breath in. And exhale, plant your hands, step left leg all the way back. Step right leg back to plank pose. Exhale, Chaturanga, elbows squeeze in or lower down to the belly. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up towards the sky. Right leg skyward, deep inhale.
Step right foot forward between your hands using that exhale. Step left foot forward, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in. Rise up, deep breath, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, folds you back down, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, broaden the collarbones. Exhale, plant your hands, right leg steps all the way back. Pick up your left foot as you step it back to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga, or lower to the belly. Inhale, upward facing dog, lift the kneecaps, tone your quads. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips up towards the sky. Left leg up, big breath in with control and stability. Exhale, step left foot forward between your hands. Right foot forward, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Last round of Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands. You can step it back, you can float it back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Don't hold your breath, keep it flowing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breathing. I like to think of this shape as a great place to always press the reset button and to maybe hold myself accountable for breathing deeper each time I come back to this shape. Breathing deeper than the time I was in this shape before. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Look forward, lift your heels. Walk, step, or float to the front of your mat, landing as soft as you can. Half lift, big breath. Exhale, fold and bow. Chair pose, Utkatasana, hips low, reach your arms up. Cleansing breath, sweep your arms back. Chair pose, inhale. Cleansing breath. One more, inhale. Exhale, cleansing breath. Have a seat all the way down to the ground, setting yourself up for reverse tabletop. So your two big toes are forward. Take your hands behind you. Your index fingers point towards your bum, your thumbs point in. Lift your shoulders. Take them back, take them down. Ardha Purvottanasana. Press down to your feet. Lift your hips. Roll up those shoulders back around your spine. Take an inhale. Draw the navel in. And exhale, lower your hips down, keeping that navel pulling in and up. Find your boat pose. Lift your legs, squeeze your inner thighs. Exhale to Ardha Navasana, half boat. Keep your knees as bent as you need to or as high as you need to. Inhale, lift back up, deep breath. Exhale, plant your feet for reverse tabletop. Plant your hands. Lift up, deep breath, hips in line with your knees and maybe a little higher. And exhale, lower those hips down to the ground. Inhale, boat pose. Keep your knees bent if you need to. Exhale, Ardha Navasana. Press your low back down. Inhale, lift up, deep breath. Exhale, plant your feet, plant your hands behind you. Inhale, reverse tabletop, Ardha Purvottanasana. Exhale, lower your hips back down to the ground. We have 2 more rounds. Inhale, lift your legs, squeeze your inner thighs, not your jaw. Exhale, Ardha Navasana, maybe spread your toes. They might be shoved in shoes all day. Lift back up, big breath in. Plant your feet, plant your hands behind you. Skip if that's necessary for you. Lift up, deep breath in. Exhale, lower those hips back down. Inhale, boat pose, deep breath. Last round. Exhale, Ardha Navasana. Here's where it's going to change. Lift up, big inhale, Navasana. Cross your ankles, plant your hands, step or float it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Breathe deep. Press the reset. Lift your right leg up to the sky, deep breath. Step your right foot forward by your right thumb, spin the left heel flat. Warrior one, big breath in, pressing the outside of that left foot down. Stay here for your exhale. Your arms can be shoulder bone width apart, your palms can be together. Take whatever you need. Squeeze right hip back, point left hip bone forward, and take another inhale. Get nice and long through your spine. Exhale, hands lower down to frame your right foot. Step back to plank pose. Listen carefully, Chaturanga. We're going to add on here. Upward facing dog, tops of your feet down. Back to Chaturanga, tuck your toes, drop your knees if you need to, and lower all the way down to your belly. Sweep your arms back by your side and turn your palms in. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back and roll them down. Locust Pose. Lift your chest, option to pick up your feet, your shins, your knees, and your quads. And stay here for your exhale. Assess your body. Where can you find softness? And then where can you engage where it's necessary? Take another big inhalation, stretching your toes away from the head away from your toes. And exhale, lower everything down to the ground. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Press up to plank pose. Take your hips back, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up, deep breath in. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Spin the right heel flat. Warrior one, deep inhalation. Reach both arms up towards the sky. And we'll be here for 3 full breaths. If you have any injuries to your shoulders, or maybe you hold a lot of tension in your neck or shoulders, it might be a good idea just to cactus your arms so your elbows are down. So that way we're not creating any more tension or discomfort in our neck and shoulders. So left hip squeezes back, right hip bone points forward, and then see if you can bring your ears back. Lift the crown of your head up. Take another deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, lower your hands down, frame your left foot. Inhale, plank pose, step your left leg back. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Back to Chaturanga. Lower all the way down. Slide the hands by the side, lift everything up. Locust Pose, deep breath. Exhale, lower everything down to the ground. Slide hands under shoulders. Inhale, plank pose. Press the earth away. Take your hips back. Downward facing dog. Deep breathing. And again, deep breath in. And deep breath out. Deep inhale. And deep exhale. Look between your hands, lift your heels. Walk, step, or float to the front of your mat. Land as soft as you can. Half lift, big breath. And fold forward, exhale. Rise all the way up, deep, deep breath in. Keep your hip bones forward. Take an open twist to your right. Turning from your mid-back, upper back. Come back to center, big breath. Keep your hips and knees forward. Take an open twist to your left. Inhale, come back to center. Sit down into a chair pose on your exhale. Lift your chest, deep breath in. Take an open twist to your right arm back without moving your knees or hips. Come back to center, big inhale. Exhale, take an open twist to your left. Come back to center, full breath in. Fold forward, exhale. Half lift, deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, right foot forward, left heel flat, warrior one, deep breath in. Exhale your hands down to the earth. Plank pose is your inhalation. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Back to Chaturanga, tuck your toes, bend the elbows, lower all the way down. Locust Pose, big breath in. Exhale, lower everything down. Plank pose, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Left foot forward, right heel flat. Warrior one, deep inhalation. Exhale, hands back down, frame the left foot. Plank pose, inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga. Drop your knees if you need to. Inhale, upward facing dog. Back to Chaturanga. Lower all the way down. Slide your hands back. Lift everything up off the earth. Inner thigh squeeze. Exhale, lower everything down. Hands under shoulders. Plank pose. Deep breath. Take your hips back. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Take another inhale and another exhale. Look between your hands, lift your heels, walk, step, or float to the front of your mat. Half lift, deep breath, and exhale, fold forward. Chair pose, Bakasana, hips low, arms up. Open twist to your right, right arm back, left arm forward. Come back to center, deep inhalation. Take an open twist to your left, squeezing muscle to bone. Inhale, come back to center, big, big breathing. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Half lift, big inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up to the sky, big breath in. And exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Bring your left knee down to the ground. Reach both arms up to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Cactus out your arms on an exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together without dumping in your low back. Inhale, take your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your left hand down to the ground. Straighten your right leg and reach your right arm back. So think Ardha Hanumanasana with a little twist. Left shoulder wraps back. Right fingertips reach up. Take another deep inhale and deep exhale. Anjaneyasana, right knee over your heel. Squeeze your inner thighs. Both arms rise. Cactus out your arms. Spread your fingers so wide you can feel the webbing of your hands stretching. Inhale, take your arms back up. Full breath. Exhale, shift back. Right arm back. Right leg straightens. Inhale, back to center. Anjaneyasana, knee over your heel. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Pull the lowest belly in. Inhale, take your arms up to the sky. Big breath. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Reach that right arm back. Inhale, Crescent Warrior. Pick up your left knee on the way. Settle into your foundation on your exhale. If you feel any discomfort in your low back, take a bend in that back knee. Lift your pubic bone up towards your navel. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Stay here for another inhale. Skater pose to your left is an exhalation. So the left knee comes over your heel, your hips stay higher than your knees. Arms reach behind you and turn your palms up to the sky. And if you could imagine maybe having little lemons in your hands, if you could lift those lemons up, strengthening your triceps. Squeeze your shoulder blades together to press your heart a little bit more forward. Look at your right big toe. Halfmoon pose to the front of your mat. So stand strong in your right foot. Launch off your back leg. Your right fingertips can come down to a block if you need to. Flex your left toes. Stack your left shoulder on top of your right. And maybe left arm reaches up towards the sky. Maybe if you're working on balance, lift your pubic bone toward your navel. Press down through the center of your right foot. And pick your right hand up off the floor for 3. As long as you're breathing deep, if you're holding your breath, it just means you're overstimulated. For 2. And take another big inhalation. Shiva squat is your exhale. Left knee's going to come down to tap your right, reset the hips. Right hip squeezes back. And know that your hands don't have to touch the floor. Mine are, because I want them to. And if you want your fingertips to touch the floor too, then you do that too. Take another big breath. Squeeze that left heel to glute. And on an exhale, come all the way up. Draw your left knee to your chest. Reach both arms up to the sky. Big inhale, reach up to those fingertips. Monkey chair. Cross your left shin over your right thigh and sit your hips down. Lift your sternum to your thumbs. Roll your shoulders back and down. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And again, deep inhale and deep exhale. Bring your left knee to your chest. Reach both arms up to the sky. Make seal mudra with your hands. So make two little lowercase c's. Cup your hands together and lift your sternum to your hands. Seal mudra is the mudra of protection. The mudra to invoke Ganesha, the god of the removal of obstacles and for new beginnings. Tongue away from the roof of your mouth and lift up through the crown of your head. Keep your mudra. Step your left leg all the way back. Think Crescent Warrior legs. And stay here for your exhale. Open up your arms on an inhale like that, out into a T. Turn from your torso. Exhale, twist to the right. Stay for your in-breath. Squeeze the shoulder blades back onto the back body. And stay for the exhale, deep in that right knee. Revolve crescent. Take your right hand to the back of your left thigh, that left bicep along your ear. Roll that right hip bone down on the exhale. Take another big breath in. Left chin away from the shoulder. Keep your twist. Lower your left hand down to the ground. Your left wrist is slightly forward than your shoulder. The eye of your elbow wraps to that index finger. Option to stay here. Option 2, side plank pose, Bakasana. And again, instead of thinking to root down into that left hand, press that left hand down and forward so you can get that left hip away from the floor and also get that shoulder blade locked into that shoulder girdle. Right hip bone is pressing directly forward. Right fingertips reach up to the sky. Take another big breath here. Deep breath out. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Take your right hand down to the ground. Bring your right knee over to your left shoulder. Step your right foot through. You can always come to the tips of these left fingers if you'd like. Step this right foot through. Spin the left heel flat. All in triangle. Take your left arm up towards the sky. Lift chin away from chest once again. Believe it or not, there's a very tiny little back bend here in the mid back and upper back. So allow that space, maybe that space in your back body that's really hard to scratch, to lift up from there. Take another big breath. Press the outer edge of your left foot down. And exhale, take your left hand down underneath your shoulder. Draw your right knee to your chest. Step your foot forward. Spin the left heel flat. Warrior 1. Big breath in. Hands behind the back. Interlace your fingers. Lift your chest. Tailbone south. Heart north. Exhale, devotional warrior. Bow to the inside of your right leg. Keep firming down through the outside edge of that left foot. Deep breath in. If the bind is too much, take your hands down to the inside of that right heel. And deep breath out. Press down through your feet. Rise all the way up. Warrior 1. Big inhalation. Exhale. Lower your hands down to the ground. Standing split. We've been here before. Take your left leg up to the sky. Spiral that left hip bone down. Stay here for your exhale. Melt your chest down towards your thigh. Inhale, lift that left heel a little higher if you can, using that leg as a team. And exhale, step left foot down to meet your right. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Deep inhale, reach both arms skyward, knees behind the toes. Exhale, take an open twist to your right, keeping the knees directly forward. Inhale, come back to center, both arms up, turning from the torso, open twist to the left. Let's add that cleansing breath. Inhale, rise up, deep inhale. Cleansing breath, arms sweep back. Have a seat all the way down to the mat. Set your feet up for reverse tabletop. Hands behind you. Inhale, lift everything up off the earth. And exhale, lower everything down. I guess if it was everything, we'd be levitating, right? Inhale, boat pose just once. Spread your toes. Exhale, Ardha Navasana. Draw the navel to spine. Low back is pressing down. Lift up, big breath in. Cross your ankles. Plant your hands. Step, float it back. Disregard if you need to. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe deep. Reset. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step it all the way forward. Drop the right knee down to the ground and keep the back toes tucked. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, Vinyasa. Exhale, cactus out the arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, take your arms back up, lift out of your pelvis. Straighten your left leg and sweep your left arm to the back of the room and pause here. If you need to place a block underneath your right hand, take this opportunity and place a block under your hand. Roll your left hip bone down away from the ribs and even lift your chin away from your chest. Stretch out. Come back to center. Anjaneyasana, left knee over your heel. Reach both arms up to the sky. Exhale, cactus out the arms, lifting up through the chest. Inhale, take your arms back up, full breath. Shift back on the exhale, left arm back, left leg straightens. Inhale, come back to center. Left knee over your heel, reach both arms up to the sky. Exhale, cactus out the arms once more. Inhale, take your arms back up, full breath. Exhale, shift back, flex your left toes. Crescent Warriors, shift forward, left knee over your heel. Pick your right knee up along the way. Exhale and find your foundation of this posture. Deep breath in, lengthen through the side bodies. Deep breath out, pinky edges of your hands turn towards one another and press your hands back. Take another big inhale through your nose, lift up, stretch up. Exhale to skater pose to the right, flex your left toes up towards the sky. Pull your navel in and up. Take your shoulders back and down. Big breath in and big breath out. Look at your left toes. Halfmoon Pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Stand strong in your left foot. Pick your right toes up off the ground. And if you'd like to place a block underneath your left hand, it'll help make your limbs longer or bring the floor a little closer to you, so make sure you do that for yourself. Roll that right hip open. Turn your right bicep forward. Reach your right fingertips skyward. Take another big breath in, lift up through that right heel. Exhale to a Shiva squat. Right knee taps the back of your left calf. Option to keep your hands down. Option to take your hands to your heart. Deep breath in wherever you are, broaden your collarbones. And deep breath out, protract in your upper back, meaning rounding and separate the shoulder blades. On a large inhale, come all the way up. Draw your right knee to your chest. Reach both arms up to the sky. Exhale to a funky chair. Cross your right shin over your left thigh. Bring your hands to your heart center. Flex your toes and even press your big toe mound a little bit more forward so we're not dumping into the ankle. Lift your sternum. Take your shoulders back. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Bring your right knee back to your chest. Reach both arms back up to the sky for just a moment. Find your still mudra. Cup the hands. Lift your chest into your hands. Lift your elbows. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Get nice and strong. Deep inhale and deep exhale. Step back. Crescent Warrior legs. Keep your still mudra in your arms. Stay here for your exhale. If you feel a little wobbly, widen your stance out just a little. Open up your arms to that big capital T. Spread your fingers wide. Turn from the torso, twist to the left. Stay here for your inhale, maybe gaze to that back thumb. And stay for your exhale. Inhale to revolve, left hand to the back of your right thigh, right bicep along your ear. Stay for your exhale, find depth in your thighs. Reach up through your right fingertips on a large inhalation. Exhale, take your right hand down to the inside of your left foot. Wrist just a little forward than the shoulder. Inhale, side plank pose or modified side plank. Stay here for your exhale, pressing that right hand down and forward. Finding length with each inhalation. Finding softness with each exhalation. Keeping a space between your teeth, keeping your gaze nice and soft. Take one more big inhalation. Exhale, your left hand lowers down to the earth. Cross your left knee over to your right shoulder. Step it through. Spin the right heel flat. Take your right arm towards the sky for fallen triangle. If you're working on picking up the bottom foot away from the floor, shift that hip underneath you and pick that heel up. And if you're not, no worries. Just keep that heel back down to the ground. Deep breath in through your nose, lift up, and deep breath out. Make your right leg straight and strong. Inhale, and exhale your right hand down. Draw your left knee to your chest. Warrior one, step the left foot forwards with the right heel flat. Reach both arms up. Hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Lift your chest, massive inhalation. Exhale, bow to the inside of your left leg. Maybe while you're down here, look at your left knee and see if it's over your heel. Maybe look back at that right leg and make sure that leg is super, super strong. Deep inhale, press the fingertips between your bone. And deep exhale, soften those elbows. Press down through the feet, rise all the way back up. Warrior one, deep inhalation. Exhale, hands lower down, frame your left foot. Standing split, take your right leg back up towards the sky. Spiral the right inner thigh up, point your hip bone down. Exhale, find some depth and melt in your chest. Deep breath in, use that right leg as a T. Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. Stay here for your exhale. Maybe press into your hands, round that upper back on the in-breath. And exhale, step your right foot down to meet your left. Heel toe your feet out, wider than your hips, turn your toes out, your heels in. Malasana, sit your hips between your heels. If you need to sit up on a block, sit up on a block. Bakasana, or bound angle pose, having a seat and bringing the soles of your feet together is a great alternative for this shape. Option to stay here. Option 2, crow pose, Bakasana. Place your hands down, draw your knees up as high up onto your arm bones as possible, and then shift forward. Think Chaturanga in your arms, protract in your upper back, think plank pose in that upper back, and maybe squeeze one heel to your bum. Maybe squeeze the other heel to your other bum. Maybe press down through your hands to start to straighten your arms for 3. Breathe in, breathe out for 2. Take another inhalation and use that exhale, step or float back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up towards the sky, big breath. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Take a quarter turn to your left for a wide leg forward fold. So turn your toes in, bring your heels directly behind your big toes. Bring your peace fingers, your index finger and your middle finger between your first and big toe, and then seal it with your thumbs. Elbows out, crown of the head down. Notice if you drop those shoulders down, take those shoulders back and away from the ears. Find that imaginary rope between your stomach and your thighs. And even in this shape, get into the habit of contracting the pelvic floor. Mula Bandha. Maybe notice where the weight is being distributed in your feet. Make sure your foundation is super strong, so legs are super strong. Take another big breath. And stay for your exhale. Walk your hands forward, find a flat back on an inhalation. And exhale, walk your hands to the inside of your right foot. Pivot all 10 toes to point forward. Drop your left knee down to the ground. Lizard lunge, roll to the outside edge of your right foot. Be mindful not to dump into your ankle, so keep that big toe mound pressing down and forward so that outside of that right ankle stays straight. You can stay on your hands if you'd like to. You can come down to your forearms if that feels okay. Sometimes I like to walk that back knee back just a little bit to find a little bit more space. But I always say you want to find that place that is personal and that is intimate for you between not enough and too much. And every day is going to be totally different. Our body is different every single moment. And if you notice, your body is totally different from the moment you wake up in the morning into the moment that you go to bed. And when we let go of those expectations and allow our bodies to show up for us in every single way that they are and also every single way that they are not, we learn to grow and appreciate exactly what we have. Take another deep, deep breath. And deep breath out. If you are on your forearms, start to walk those hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck the back toes, pick up that back knee, find that 3-legged dog. Sweep your right leg up towards the sky, listen carefully. Bend that right knee, open up your hip. Flex the foot, spread your toes, and make big circles with that right knee in one direction. See if you can keep your shoulders in line, so pressing that right hand down, bringing that right shoulder down. Make circles in the opposite direction for 3, 2, and 1. Re-extend that right leg back up to the sky, point your hip bone down. Exhale, cross your right knee over to your left shoulder, pause, step it through, spin your left heel flat. Bring your left hand to your left hip, bend your left knee, think skater pose in that left leg, bend the left knee so it's over the heel, and take your right shin bone, cross it over your left thigh. If you have any injuries to your knees and this is too much for you, you can just drop this right knee down to the ground here if you'd like. So again, flexing those right toes, roll that right shoulder back and down, and stretch your left fingertips up and over your head, turn the palm down towards the floor. Lifting up through your hips, roll your shoulders back, take another big breath in, and big breath out. Inhale, and exhale. Left hand down to the ground, pivot that back heel up, drop your left heel all the way over to the left, step your right foot to the inside of your left knee, about hip bone width distance for Wild Thing Kamakasana. Reaching those right fingertips forward, lifting up through your sternum and allowing this to stretch your spine. Both side bodies super, super long. Take another big inhalation. And exhale, right hand down to the ground, find your plank pose. Deep breath in at the top of your plank. And exhale, Chaturanga, elbows in. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale. And exhale. Lift your left leg up and back, deep breath. And step your left foot forward between your hands. Take a quarter turn to your right, wide leg forward fold. Toes in, heels out, and melt your chest down. So last time we put our peace fingers around our big toes. If you'd like to reach those arms back behind you, interlace your fingers. And maybe between your hands, you imagine bringing home your baby bumblebee, and you don't want to smash it or lose it, so take a micro bend in those elbows, bring your palms together, and then from that place, stretch your arms up and over your head. And here, if you also have an inversion and you would like to go upside down, know that that option is available. Being mindful that if you have an inversion practice, there's only about 20% of the weight in your head or less, preferably less, and the core is working super strong. I also have a video to strengthen for inversion, so if you're curious about going upside down, I believe it's in the Power Yoga section of my playlist. So go there and check it out to see how you can intelligently strengthen your body to maybe one day do an inversion. Release your hands down to the ground if they were behind your back. Walk your hands forward, find a flat back, deep breath. And walk your hands to the inside of your left foot, pivot that right heel up along the way. Drop the right knee down to the ground. You can heel toe that left foot out. Maybe roll to the outside edge of your left foot. And again, you want to keep the outside of that left ankle super straight. And then flex the left toes, press your big toe mound towards the ground. You can stay upright on your fingertips. You can come down to your forearms if you'd like. I spoke of Ganesh earlier in the practice, and I think for me, recognizing and surrendering to the one who is the remover of obstacles, right, is surrendering to my view of who my highest devotion is for. And it reminds me of the serenity prayer, to grant me serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And our bodies are amazing. I mean, the way they function and how we're able to move, how we're able to breathe, how we're able to make yoga shapes. For some of us, maybe chasing children around. For others, maybe we sit down a lot at a desk, and all of our bodies are totally different. And our bodies do so much for us, so to be appreciative for what they do give us is really, really important and can bring us a lot of peace. And some of the greatest advice that has ever been given to me is if you don't like something, then change it. And if you can't change it, make peace with it. Take another deep breath in through your nose and deep breath out. And from here, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Tuck your back toes, pick up your back knee. Find that three-legged dog, scoop that left leg up and back. Bend the left knee, open up your hip, and make circles in one direction for 3. Maybe keep that left shoulder down in line with your right for 2. And switch it to the other direction, 3, 2, and 1. Re-extend that left leg up, put your hip bone down. Cross your left knee over to your right shoulder and pause. Step it through. Spin your right heel flat. So almost like fallen triangle, but this time we're going to take our right hand to our right hip. Look down at those right toes and bend the right knee so it goes over the heel. From here, cross that left shin on top of your right thigh, flex your foot. And then when you're ready, maybe you stretch up those little right fingertips towards the corner of the mat. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale and exhale. One more full breath here. And exhale, bring your right hand down to the floor. Keep your left shin crossed over the thigh. Pivot the right heel up first. Drop it over to the right. Wild thing. Left foot steps hip width apart from your right knee. Inner edge of that right foot presses down to the ground. Curl your heart open. Sometimes I like to take my head into my hand and just allow my head to press. Rolling those shoulders open. Lifting the chin. Deep inhalation and deep exhalation. Take one more full breath. And exhale, pulling pose, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in at the top of your plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, and downward facing dog. Deep breathing. And stay for your exhale. Inhale, press those hands down and forward. And exhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, looking back at your toes. Walk your hands back towards your feet, finding a forward fold to the back of your mat. Lift your right toes up. Slide the right hand underneath your foot, take your toes to the wrist crease. Bakasana, lift your left toes, slide the left hand underneath your foot, toes to the wrist crease. Find a flat back on an inhalation, flutter at your lips, and fold in on an exhalation. Softening your face. And bend your knees so much that your ribs and thighs touch. And though yoga means union, it doesn't necessarily mean union between your forehead and your shins, or your ribs and your thighs, but finding that union to that place of service. Of devotion, of unconditional love, which means if your hamstrings are screaming at you here, finding that place where they might just be whispering. And release your right hand, release your left hand. Walk your 2 big toes to touch. If you have any knee injuries, you can keep your feet hip width apart and just come down to a seat. Not lift your heels and bend your knees, have a seat on your heels. Take your hands to the tops of your thighs, press your thigh bones down, and lift the crown of your head up towards the sky. Toe stand. And maybe listen to what your arches are saying in your feet. This is a challenging posture for you. It's because it's really challenging. And you have the option to stay here. Option 2, drop your knees down and forward. Find a slight lift of the pubic bone towards the navel so the low back lengthens, and walk your fingertips behind you. Coming to the tips of your fingers, keep your palms lifted. Roll your shoulders back and puff up your chest. Bring your nose back, bring your throat back, so chin towards your neck, and then maybe bring your ears back in line with your shoulders. Keeping the belly tone, keeping the front ribs in, and releasing any stress or strain that you might be feeling. And take another deep inhale and deep exhale. And slowly walk your hands back to your thighs. We'll come back forward into a tabletop pose. Flatten the tops of your feet out and give the tops of your feet a little bit of a tap. Swing your feet out to the side, have a seat on your mat, and take your legs out in front of you for Paschimottanasana. Take your hands, grab your booty cakes, spread the love, and then reach your arms up towards the sky, flex your toes towards your face, find an imaginary rip between your stomach and your thighs, and fold over your legs. And again, yoga doesn't mean hands to toes, so if you would like to take your hands to the outsides of your legs, this is a great option. If you'd like to take them to the tops of your shins, that's a great option. If you're super bendy, tops of your feet. Start to walk your hands up your shin, up your thighs. Reach your arms forward. If you'd like to scoot forward on your mat, you can. Reach your arms forward, pull your navel in, and slowly come onto your backs, vertebrae by vertebrae. When the back of your head touches the earth, bring your right knee into your chest. If you have any low back injuries, or if it's uncomfortable for it to lay flat on your back, bend your left knee and place the sole of your foot down to the ground. Take your right arm out to the right, your left hand to the outside of your right thigh, and take a twist over to the left. Keeping your shoulders relaxed on the ground, maybe bringing your gaze towards your right shoulder if that feels comfortable for your neck. And come back to center. Extend your right leg up to the sky. Take your hands behind your hamstrings and interlace your fingers. Maybe you lift your shoulders, wrap those shoulder blades around your spine, and lower back down. And slowly release your right foot down to meet your left. When that heel lowers down, it might feel a little longer than your left leg, but don't worry, it's not. Bring your left knee back into your chest and take your hands around your left shin. If you need to bend your right knee, be sure to bend your right knee and place your sole of the foot down to the floor. And as the practice slows down, be mindful that your mind doesn't go to that to-do list. Keeping your breath as full as possible, keep your intention present, and savor these last few moments of your practice. Take your left arm out to the left, right hand to the outside of your thigh, and take a twist to your right. Keeping your shoulders relaxed, your jaw relaxed, your throat relaxed. Maybe close your eyes to invite in the essence of your Shavasana. Come back to center and keep your eyes closed if they are. Extend your left leg up towards the sky. Take your hands behind your hamstrings. You can make your last final postures as active as you like or as passive as you need. And slowly lower your left foot all the way down to meet your right. Shavasana. Take up as much space as you need. Turn your palms up towards the sky. Allow your feet to open up naturally. And let your brain fall to the back of your skull. And your tongue fall to the back of your throat. And your breath carry you to that place of restful awareness.